Ty Boice. You took time out of your day to come see me. I looked you up on Instagram, like a lot of things, now that's how we research everything. And, my wife and I used to go to like comedy shows back in the day before we had kids where, we had to stay home with them constantly.
Yeah.
We had babysitters built in. But, and then it seemed like comedy dropped off for a while. And it was hard to see. And then all of a sudden, like, I think after COVID, it came and went.
Sure.
It's like starting to build steam. We're getting a lot more people here, and I guess maybe you have something to do with that because you do a lot of you're bringing in some of these talent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I run a company called Soloit Productions, and I mean it depends on how you define biggest.
Yeah.
But we're actually the biggest non-club like traveling producer in the Northwest. So
I've always wondered how that works because I see a comic come into town like. Do they fly from across the country? Or they travel around? Are they doing like a road trip with a bunch of comics?
Sometimes, man, it just depends. We hire people like international comics. You know what I mean? And when I say international, I don't just mean Canada. Like, we just did a festival. Actually, just wrapped up Sunday, and there was a comic on the show from Bombay. Or sorry, he was through the weekend, but he was from Bombay. And then there's another comic from New Zealand.
Was that the one at the coast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still recovering.
You're still recovering.
I'm still, dude.
How many people did you have in there?
As far as the lineups, like how many comics total? We had 10 total comics over 5 coastal cities over 10 days. Or sorry, 10 shows over 4 days.
So you run through like maybe 3 in a night?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's usually the format you do. Usually 3 comics and sometimes 4. Or if it's like a theme show, you'll have like 6 or 7. Like if it's like a roast.
Yeah.
Usually times the roast naturally come in pairs, but then you'll have like a host, so you have like 7.
Okay.
I mean? Yeah.
Are you like are you kind of working behind the scenes? Or are you good up on stage, kind of pumping everybody up for it?
No, that's how I make my living primarily is as a producer.
Yeah.
But like I do stand up as well. I mean, we hire people that are far funnier than I am. But like I knew that to really like commit to being a comic, I would be on the road all the time. And like you guys, I got little ones. I got a 9 and a 5-year-old. So I was like, I don't really want to do this. Like, I don't want to have to go to like the Chuckle Hut in Omaha, Nebraska, which I think is like
on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, which I think is like I don't think there actually is a place called the Chuckle Hut.
There should be
but
now.
Like everybody says they're like, oh yeah, like it's like a euphemism.
Yeah.
Or whatever the bad equivalent of a euphemism is. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to do that. I used to make my living as an actor, and I would travel all the time.
Okay.
And I want to be a dad, so I was like, I can't do that. So I want to do something where I can go on the road when I want to.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it gets hard. I don't know how some of these guys do it. I mean, with families, but I mean, if they're
mental illness, no, alcoholism and mental illness. That's how you do it. Yeah, you just work all the time. Yeah.
I don't know if I could. I mean, especially if you're having a bad day. I mean, a really terrible day. I don't know how you could just switch gears like that, go up on stage, and not carry that with you.
I don't know. Sometimes I think those are the best sets.
Yeah.
I don't know because
you get to like detach from whatever's going on. Or
I think it can be like catharsis.
Okay.
I mean, or you start bringing it in and set with you.
Well, it's sometimes you can just kind of be uninhibited, and usually that's like the best thing to do with comedy. Is like it's kind of trite, but Marvelous Miss Maisel. Do you guys
I love that show.
Sure. So she begins, and a lot of that is maybe not quite accurate. Obviously, it's a period show. And some of it's not quite accurate for the game, But her origin story, like, that's kind of what you're talking about. Sometimes when you're having a hell of a day, you'll walk into something and you'll be, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like how you process it?
Unabashed, like, you like uninhibited. So you'll just launch yourself into something like that. And I think the main reason why I'm like, oh, that's maybe not accurate is because that character in that story is like, she'll go riff.
Yeah.
And there's some of that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, at least the way I understand it, and it's not like I'm some grizzled vet in comedy, but like there's a lot of craft in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like art in general, like if you're not cutting your ear off and You know,
if you're not Van Gogh,
yeah,
wait, Picasso.
Is it Picasso? Yeah, one of them. I mean, they're all kind of nuts.
I
but...
just outed myself.
I'm like, Banksy. You remember him? Yeah. So yeah, but it's like, I mean, there's some comics like that's their bit. They drink, and then they go on stage, and then that's their set, and people kind of expect that from them too.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because you'll see a lot of people that really want to do stand-up comedy, and first of all, I'm in the business of encouraging people to try it because if you work out, and I'm in the laugh game, so like if you are funny, I'm going to encourage you to keep doing it or give you opportunities or whatever. But what happens more often than not, someone's like, hey, remember that time when we had the bridesmaid trip and Josie peed the bed, and it's like it's just a story without any kind of like structure to it, and they'd be like, that was so funny.
You remember
and everybody else remembers they have the context for it, they know who Josie is, and then and
how it's so out of character for her, and
exactly. And they'll think that's hilarious. Then you get up and you try and recreate that narrative, and people are like, what?
Who's Josie?
Yeah, who's Josie?
She sounds crazy.
Yeah. Tell her to put in a diaper. Let's move on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but you'll see that a lot. Like, people will get excited to try it. And again, I always encourage people. But I feel it's kind of like, stand-up's kind of like, you ever jumped off a big rock into a river?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do
terrifying.
it. As soon as, like, even, I mean, I guess there's quite a bit more peril that can happen if
it's a lot easier when you're drunk to doing it than just, like, jumping in.
Sure. Well, but the reception might be, if you're, if you're drunk, it might be bad. Yeah. I've had that happen a couple times where I've seen comics, someone will be chatting in the audience, like, well, get up here. And I was like, okay.
No, I'm a heckler.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to go.
Well, they'll go up there, and a lot of times they will go on up there, and then it quickly devolves into a therapy session.
Oh.
They get like uncomfortable, and they'll be like, you're just watching, you're like,
it's like a slow
more like a train wreck.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It takes, especially well, you just mentioned hecklers, like, and that's just such a funny part of the whole world where it takes just.
I think that's probably for some people, just knowing that there's hecklers out there is probably stopping them from getting up. Just because, like, how do I deal with that? I mean, because there's some comics, we were talking about this earlier, there's some comics that, I don't know what their bid is, but they're like masters at taking these hecklers, especially when it's like someone who deserves it, like some real obnoxious person out in the audience, and they just tear them apart.
Yeah.
And that's almost the funniest part of their whole set.
No, and some people have that skill more than others. Some comics, like there's some comics I admire so much that just have that ability. There's actually, I'll start name dropping so you guys can get more tags on this. But there's a comic by the name of Jake Silverman, and he's a crowd work savant. And his material is very good too. He's a very good comic.
Does he have the glasses on? I can't remember. Dark hair with glasses? No. That's a different guy.
Very tall, very skinny, very Jewish. He talks a lot about that on stage.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's really admirable about, well, there's a lot to admire about what Jake does with comedy, but like, he really is wholesale into this whole thing. Like, he literally has lived in his van. He moved to New York.
Wow.
He crushed it in Portland, so he was ready to like jump to the next thing, the next bigger market.
Yeah.
And I haven't asked him specifically, but like the early returns on New York is starting to go well for him there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a hard place. Yeah. It's not like I've done comedy in New York, but man, that's like moving to LA as an actor.
We talked about that with our last guest, about like how he was telling us about, to really be good at writing, you've got to kind of live your life a little bit. You got to have some experiences to bring it into it.
That was this guy?
Yeah.
You mean that was
T.G. Brown?
Tribal Honor by
T.G. Brown.
T.G. Brown. On shelves now.
That's right. I'm glad that was our last episode, so you're not like outing our next episode.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
But he was saying that like you got to have some experience to bring into it. So I'm guessing same thing with comedy. You've got to put in some of the work to really be at the top of your game.
It's for sure a craft.
How'd you get into it?
Well, I was an actor for years.
Okay.
About a decade, I made my living as an actor, and I went through divorce, and so basically, I just wanted some kind of performative catharsis. Like I wanted to do it, and a guy that actually hates my guts now, he got me into it. He's a dick, but he went to a sketch show and he's like, who wrote that sketch? And I was like, I did. And he's like, oh, we should try writing stand up, and which is so funny because, well, I'll table that, but like he was like, try stand up, and I was like, okay. And I've spent my entire life, well, not my entire life, but like almost my entire adult life on stage.
Yeah.
And I was terrified to try it. I actually called and canceled on him.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I made something up.
Was it just the size of the crowd, or just the fact that it's something new?
No, I called going into it. I think there's something really nude about like writing stand up. And it's your brain, it's your sensibilities.
Yeah.
You know, it's your intellect. And like then sharing that with a room full of people, I'm just taking that risk is
because it's about you. You're writing about your experiences, and people people are going to either enjoy it or they're not going to enjoy it.
That depends on the comic. You know, like we just mentioned Jake, he's a great crowd work comic. He'll go create in the moment in the room.
Yeah.
Some people will be anecdotal. Like I write about being a divorced dad and balding and, you know, growing man boobs slowly, and like I'm anecdotal. You know, like I'll talk about like my own struggles and stuff on stage just because, you know, as far as writers go, I'm probably not the most impressive writer out there as far as comics go, but I feel like if you're honest, then people will get on board. Mm-hmm. You know,
you identify with people out there.
Yeah. And other people are socio-political. Other people will comment on society and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they have an opinion on Diddy. They have an opinion on Ukraine. They have an opinion on Israel, Palestinian conflict. Like, you know, they'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to talk about like what's real and apparent and raw with me now. You know what I mean?
More relatable.
So when you bring these people together into a set, do you guys, this one's going to pair good with this one? Like
as far as
comics,
curating,
curate them
for sure.
Yeah.
So a lineup that we bring to like a Seattle venue or a Portland venue might be very different than a lineup we bring to like a Roseburg, or a Sublimity, or a Staten. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I actually like, I think that's where I feel like a lot of like predisposition and opinion can really ruin comedy.
Yeah.
So I look at it as an opportunity. So then it's like matchmaking. I try and get the best lineup I can. So yeah, for sure. To answer your question, which I took an hour. To answer your question though, like I think that's the kind of dating game that I'm doing is like I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So Sublimity, okay. So it's an ag town, yeah? Okay. It's probably a red part of the state, right? Okay. I'm probably gonna try and match comics up with which I think will really like have success, set them up for success in Sublimity.
Because it's a two-way street. You want the comics to feel like they showed up to the right place and they're really killing it, and you also want the crowd to be excited about you bringing them in.
I want them and the crowd to have the best situation we possibly can.
Sure.
So I want them to be in a situation where they feel confident, where they feel comfortable, where they're going to be the best comics that they can be. And I want that audience I mean, there's a line in Hamlet that says, God, is it Hamlet or am I lying? Oh, yeah. Hold a mirror up to nature. So, like, any reflection of yourself, if we, like, recognize ourselves and stuff, like, we're all narcissists, and to some degree, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hold a mirror up to nature. You want to reflect people's selves, which can go good or poorly.
Yeah.
Depending on how somebody feels about themselves and their own
They're like, that's not who I am.
Yeah, their ability to
How dare
process
you.
humor.
If you're someone like making fun of another group, and like, but if you're part of that group, making fun of it, it's a different. People take it different.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you just said, making fun of a group, like that scares the crap out of me. To just isolate like that, like, well, that's not true. I mean, I don't know. I make fun of people who vape.
You make fun of people who vape.
Yeah, I don't know.
The giant accordion things.
I don't care if people vape, but I don't know. I'm a smoker, so I'm like, why don't you smoke, pussy? Kill your lungs quicker. No, but like, I don't know.
Like commit already.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're like, hey, Republicans, hey, Democrats, like, hey, whatever hot button, group you want to identify, I just feel like that's just...
It's too polarizing.
I mean, if you got a good joke, that's the thing. I mean,
yeah.
A friend of mine, here comes another tag, Adam Posse, says, he'll get you some views if you tag him. He says, God, I'm going to screw this up. Brent Lowry told me this. Another tag. He said, comedy is the god. So, like, if it's funny, take a swing, take a swing at somebody big, but like, it better be funny if it's, because your margin for failure becomes larger,
It's a big risk sometimes. I mean, but some people thrive on that too. They like taking that risk. Some people like, I'm gonna try. I mean, you probably do the same thing before you get up, you've already tested out some of the material on people before you go up there.
One of the most exciting things ever is, it's like, how many kids you guys have?
4.
4. Mm-hmm. Awesome. How old are they?
25, 17.
You guys have a 25-year-old?
We've got 25, 17, 11, and 8.
This place, I don't like you people. It's too good. All right? It's too nice. All right. When you guys
We're tired.
Yeah.
We're really, really tired all the time.
I know. You guys got to be secretly. There's something.
As soon as you leave, we just fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't know what your dirt is, but one of you is secretly a heroin addict or something. I don't know. One of you has a murder charge. So you're 25.
Yep.
What? 25.
17. 11. And 8.
Okay.
We're almost done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Almost done.
Actually, we're not done because we're going to have grandkids probably on top
of that.
Yeah, bro,
you need to tie in a knot. Dude.
Yeah.
You need to cut it out.
We might be alive for the great
You guys are going to have to sell the podcast studio.
We kicked that door closed.
We
call our youngest 4th and final for a reason.
Yeah, man.
She's amazing.
I got 2 and I'm like...
Yeah. So here's the thing that's funny. I always say when people talk about having more kids, I'm like, 1 to 2 is fine.
Yeah.
3 to 4, you don't notice after that third. 2 to 3 almost killed me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know what happened with that third
It's like
one.
switching between beer and wine. And it's like, you got to do it in a certain order.
I still remember I ran into a mom at the store, and here I am just new with my 3rd baby. And she's like, how's everything going? She has 3 kids. She's fantastic, has all of her stuff together. And I remember I was such a hot mess. I was like,
yeah.
It's so hard. Like, I don't, and she's like,
I haven't slept in 10 years.
Yeah, she's like, well, it was good seeing you. And she just walked away. I'm like,
she's not gonna survive.
Yeah,
she's not
I was like, I'm that mom in the grocery store.
It's just to exactly what you're saying. Jim Gaffigan has a bit where he's like,
doesn't he have like 5 kids?
Yeah, he goes, having 5 kids. He goes, just imagine you're drowning.
He's on the road a lot
and then
too,
somebody hands you a baby.
Yeah,
yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
oh
no.
My God. Well, you guys are brave, man. That I brought up kids. It's like the birth of a baby.
Yeah.
Man, it's so exciting. A new joke, and when it works, it is the greatest thing.
And how do you know? Because I've told my kids some jokes, and they're busting up laughing. Like, man, I am really funny. I'm a funny dad. And then you just tell them something. You just say something. The next thing you say isn't funny, and they just start rolling on the floor. Like, I am not a funny guy. My kids are just pretending right now. So how do you know, like, this is a joke that we need to take up on a stage?
Who do you test your material on?
That's a great question. I think that's kind of a cautionary tale for a lot of comics. A lot of comics will work in just one place. And I think that's really important to get in front of different audiences. So, Almsville, Sublimity, we just hypothetically keep using them. Now get your ass to Portland. Now get your ass
there. Yeah.
Get your ass to Seattle. Go to not. I hate to simplify things, being like, oh, this is a woke room or this is a Republican room.
Yeah.
But like that's essential. Like if you know,
so it's reading the crowd basically, right?
Well,
when you get up there a little bit.
Back to kind of funny as the God, like that can continue to change based on who you are. So if you really want to craft a good piece of humor, like go test it out in a lot of different environments.
Yeah. And see how it lands.
Yeah. So it does great in the sun. Cool. How's it do in the snow? Mm-hmm. How's it do in the rain?
Yeah.
So, you know.
So you're going up there, you're telling a joke, and maybe it's like, they didn't react how I'm hoping. So maybe this next joke, I'm going to switch up with something else.
Sure. I think, well, first of all, you have to live by your own convictions.
Yeah.
If you think something's funny, stick with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And keep working on it. And that's scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I'm a coward. I know comics that are far braver than I am, and that's a lot of them. That's why they're very fine comics. But you gotta keep working. If you believe it's funny, you know, it'll get you through some of those tougher times and where you may need to, I don't know. I mean, man, put it through a gauntlet to see if it's funny. Yeah. And that takes a lot of resolve, you know. But yeah, to your point, like sometimes you'll do a joke in a room, and it's crazy, man. There are, like any industry, there are oblivious comics. They're like, oh no, like they'll get like half a chuckle and they'll be like, yeah, I crushed that.
I'm killing it. Did you see that?
They'll walk off stage.
Yeah.
I just listened to Mark Norman doing like this podcast, and if you don't know Mark Norman, he's a comic that's got a meteoric rise, and he's really funny, a really, really skilled joke writer and performer. And he's talking about how, man, those people, just the oblivion.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, my God, there'll be comics that like have the most, I swear to God, there's a direct correlation with the comics that have the most to say on Facebook are often the comics that get hired the least.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. God. They just have so much Facebook stuff to say, and they're just terrible at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess that's just to tie it all back in. Like, no, be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, that wasn't funny. Okay, I gotta work on that.
Be a little reflective.
Yeah. It's hard.
I guess it could protect yourself a little bit in your ego that like you're totally oblivious to it, but then it's not going to help you grow.
No, I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, I think you got to take a walk with yourself, and that sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody bombs. Everybody bombs. You have to bomb to get better. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure you guys have heard comics talk about this, but there's nothing worse. It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad.
What's worse, bombing in like a small bar of like 10 people or bombing in a crowded theater? I mean,
crowded theater.
Yeah.
I feel like bar shows are just a natural part of the comics, you know, the journeymanship of it. Like, you're going to go to some bars and no one's going to give a shit. They're going to be playing pool or video
You're like,
poker.
this is my best material.
Yeah,
what are you guys doing?
They don't care.
Yeah, they're not even listening.
They don't care.
You're like white noise to them.
And if you really want, I mean, and it's not like a hard and fast rule because, of course, there's exceptions. But, like, if you can get those people to pay attention, whoa. Now, sometimes it is too high of a wall to climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a couple like making out. Like you're not. There's nothing I'm gonna say.
I'm not getting through to you guys.
Stop them.
I can't. This guy. I'm not gonna draw his attention away from boobs. Like that's nothing. Like I can't do anything, man. There's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna be like and he's gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this guy.
He's like, we're done now.
Yeah. Go away. Yeah, man. But no, I feel like that's a rite of passage. But no, I would say bombing in a theater with an attentive audience that paid for tickets. If, like, assuming you mean theater, like, there's hundreds or more.
It's one thing paying a bar cover, but paying, like, $30-$40 for a ticket, and
We've been to a show like that before.
I've never bombed in a theater.
Oh. I'm trying to think of what one it was. We went to one time, and I remember...
Nothing's wood anymore.
No, everything's particle board.
No, what have we done? Yeah. If you want to see me... Where am I at? Am I here this one? This one? If you want to see me bomb at a theater, I'll be at the Grand Theater May 10th in downtown Salem.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually having the brothers on here pretty soon.
The Hussey Brothers?
I love the Hussies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
We just saw the Oregon Opry there, was it 2 weekends ago? Yeah.
They're out there working the doors. Like, yeah, you guys are part of it. That's cool.
No, working with them has been really cool. Salem's, I mean, again, I told you, you're going to get honesty from me. Salem's an interesting place to be doing comedy right now because there's a lot of comedy happening, and I don't think there's a lot of comedy audience. Okay. We don't produce a lot in Salem for that reason. I'm very supportive of Infinity Room. They're downtown. Sorry, I just burped. Did you hear that? I was like,
the mic burps those.
Yeah. Right. Cool. We're very supportive of them. We're really willing neighbors.
Yeah.
But then there's just a lot of absolute shit out there that's being done, and it's just people don't get it because who am I to say somebody can't produce comedy? You know. But there's so many bad shows. Is it
just the area? Like people want to just if they're going to see comedy, they want to go to Portland or they want to go.
I think that happens a lot,
yeah.
And I think that we bring really great comedy to people. I think Infinity Room does too.
It's growing. We were talking about this before. It's like you got these giant apartment complexes going up downtown Salem.
Sure.
There's we got new sports teams here. I mean, it's slowly growing into something bigger.
Some revitalization.
And I imagine like you're going to get a whole different crowd coming into downtown Salem because they're like, hey, I can go to the bar and go see a show somewhere.
Yeah. No, and I think that is really important, not only for just Salem and economy and the downtown project, but also comedy, but also places where you can go imbibe, a place where you can go dine. I think that's really important, and I'm all supportive of that, whether that's a Solo Witch show or not.
Yeah.
But then, there's just a lot of, there's no vetting process for you to call a bar or a restaurant and be like, hey, I'm a stand-up comic. You want to pay me $300 to come do it?
You're glad I called you.
Yeah, I got a guitar too. I'm a singer.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm also a magician. I'll bring, my ring cam.
Was that you?
Dude, speaking of Salem, I don't know if you guys are gun guys. Probably.
Yeah. We're principal.
Yeah. All right. I never had a gun until I got a ring cam and I saw what was hanging out around.
It's ring cams. It's horrible because when you're at work and you feel helpless when you see someone come up ringing your doorbell, like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? And all of a sudden they're like looking around like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, hello.
And sometimes they're not an Amazon delivered person. Yeah, I had that, and I didn't have a gun until that, and I've got a gun now. Shoot me, I got a gun now, and it's changed me. I was just a sweet, just little liberal boy, just a theater actor, and now I'm like, they're not called French fries, they're called freedom fries, bitch. We the people, all right. I tactical rolled into breakfast the other day. Scared the kids.
You gotta get on your ring camera with your low voice. I'll be home soon.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah, I just do my best.
Your best Batman.
Gran Torino impression. What are you doing, bunk? Yeah. Nah, man. I don't know. Where the hell were we?
I don't know. We're talking about comedy or something. But
comedy. Yeah. It sucks. Don't do it.
We haven't been to the Affinity Room. Infinity. I keep Affinity. Infinity. Yeah.
They made fun of me because when they first started their Facebook page, it said, I hope someone's robbing us at this point. I'm not going to look. For those of you that don't know and can't hear that, my ring cam alert keeps going off.
I think everybody has the exact same sound.
Yeah, so everybody's checking their phones.
It sounds like there's a fairy.
I did the same thing. I was like,
I know. I hope that people watch this. They're like... No, they're great. What the hell? What were we talking about? We're talking about
Infinity Room.
Oh yeah. So they first started their Facebook page.
Yeah.
And it was Infinity with an I, Infinity, and for whatever reason they left off the M, and so it was like Infinity Rue. And I was like, oh, they must have done that on purpose because it just keeps going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you idiot, we made a mistake. I'm just like, saying, I don't know, I'm dumb. Yeah. I'm like, are you surprised? They're like,
You're
no,
like,
we know you.
That was clever of you guys. Look at that. I see what you did.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, well, I may have put the M on it. I might have made that choice, but no.
It's a very comedic way to name a place.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, cool. So how many shows are you guys doing?
Depends on the month. Yeah. Less.
Is it seasonal too?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
I called out of a trivia last night. I've never done that. Like I've always showed up to work, and I was like, if I don't get a break, someone's gonna die. Probably me. Yeah. I need a break. Like I've gigged, I think I've gigged or had my children, which is like they are very refreshing to me. Like they give me energy, and I know that sounds like bullshit, but they really do. Like being a divorced dad, I don't have them all the time. You know what I mean? I have split custody. I have split time with them, so they do give me a lot of energy. I'm crazy about my kids.
Yeah,
but as you guys know, it is a lot of work. So I've either like gigged or have my kids, I think, for like almost 90 straight days or something like that. And I'm like,
you're like,
because you got your social battery that people, some people, their social battery is really low. Other people like, I need to fill this way up. Well, and then you got your family battery that you got to fill up, that type of thing.
And you guys know this as professionals and as parents. I mean, do I work as hard as an Alaskan fisherman? Hell no.
Yeah.
Do I work as hard as somebody setting chokers? No. But the amount of mental energy is
you gotta be on your mentally. You gotta be on your A game for them. Whereas if you're out fishing, you can be as pissed off as you want.
Well, it's like I just had a festival where I have somebody drop. That means I've got to replace a comic for 10 shows, and I've got to find the right comic because it's sublimity, and this show's more like Seattle. And then like I'm exhausted, and suddenly I've got to go read the rules and be a bouncer, producer, take tickets, and go do a set that doesn't suck ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have to worry about comics like not showing? I mean,
yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Comics
Flaky?
Are bananas. I mean, it takes a psychopath to get up there in front of somebody and be like, talk about how small their penis is in front of 30, anywhere from 30 to 500
He's like, y'all better
people.
laugh.
Yeah, like you have to be an insane person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of them kind of know this, right?
That they're crazy.
You're not like breaking this.
No, they don't. They'll be like, it's your fault that this didn't go wrong. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
So it's it's hurting cats.
Yeah, I can see your ankle bracelet right now. I don't think you're supposed to be out of the house right now. I don't know if this is me. Yeah. But it probably is. I don't know. Yeah, man.
That's a whole nother level of stress. Just like, because it kind of falls on you as the promoter, as the person putting the whole event on.
Yeah. No, for sure. There are people in my life that you could ask and they'd be like, I'm so sick of Ty, he's a dick. But no, it's like, it's a lot, man. Anywhere like 15 to 25 shows a month.
Wow.
And each one of those shows has about 3 to 4 comics on it, unless it's like a thematic show, like a roast show where we talked about there's more. But then we also produce, if anybody's listening, that wants trivia. I work about, and they're both equally successful, but I work about 10 times harder for every dollar I make in comedy than I do in trivia. Trivia is wonderful. Like, so if you're out there listening and you're like, hey, we have a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever night, Sunday, that's slower, like trivia.
Where do you do trivia?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah.
It's a roving trivia, like different like bars and like breweries and stuff.
Okay. I won't try and bore your listeners, but Medford, Oregon, Grants Pass, Oregon, Roseburg, 3 or 4 places in Salem, Portland, Seattle. There's a lot. Albany, Lebanon, Corvallis, like all over the place. And so that's been great for us because, bar trivia is not going anywhere.
So you're pretty much working like a swing shift every night.
I'm not at all these gigs. Okay. If I'm at a gig, it means something probably went wrong.
Oh, no?
It means
someone didn't show up. And you're doing the whole
here.
Yeah. Okay. Or like, I don't know. This has never happened.
Do you ever have to fill in?
Yep.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, last night. Hey, If you are thinking about, I keep talking. This is so hacky and hammy.
Yeah, it's that one. But you can. No, I'm sorry.
No,
it's that one.
It's that one.
Just anyone.
Just that one. That one. That one.
If you are thinking about where can I get a nice draft, a cold one with some good company and bar staff, go to Dry Town Tap Station, because last night I called them. I was just honest. I was like, hey, I got a comic that's sick, and if I don't get a break, somebody's going to die. So I was like, there's no trivia tonight. And they were really cool. Ashley, awesome. Go to Dry Town.
Where are they at?
In Monmouth.
Monmouth.
Okay. That is actually a really, really cool place.
Yeah, I know. Monmouth is, have you seen Independence? How much it's like exploded?
That's crazy.
There was a show there. I don't know if it's still there. It was run by the Elks Club, and also a fucking dork. And I don't know if it's still going on anymore. But like, man, I love Independence is great.
We used to live over there.
We did.
Yeah, but it was before it was cool to be an Independence. It was like a little rundown downtown. No one ever went there, and all of a sudden they must have got some grant money or something. And all of a sudden now it's this,
it's amazing.
It looks like something off a movie set now.
Well, they're saying too that like the projections of like West Salem and McMinnville are gonna it's gonna be one town,
like merge
someday.
into one.
Yeah, that's now. I know people say a lot of things. They say
if it's
the
in
Earth
our
is
lifetime.
flat. Yeah, you say the Earth is flat, but yeah, that's apparently where projections and stuff are headed. It's going to become one big town, and I think that that's a good indication. It's looking like the little places like Independence, are suddenly cool. It's cool. Where before it was like you said, kind of maybe a ghost town or not super inhabited, but now
it wasn't cool when we lived there.
Yeah. I like the feel of it when they kind of revitalize it a little downtown. It's got walking areas, so you can walk from bar to bar. You can go see some shops. I like that.
Dude, that show that was there, the Elks Club, was awesome. I mean, it was great. I don't know if it's still going on or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like all these little towns like Dallas and Independence,
it's like everybody found out about them.
Yeah.
I always joke that everybody found out about Staten and Sublimity.
As the 20-year-olds kind of get older, we're going to turn this into this little niche town of we're going to have to go and start a little brick, apocryphy shop or whatever. What do you call it?
Apothecary.
You make the candles and the soaps and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
From Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Bougie is what you call that. Yeah. Gentrified. Yeah. Hell yeah. 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 I know. Yeah. That's an interesting thing, but no, I mean, I know I'm from a small town, so I always kind of like that. I'm from Gold Beach, Oregon. This is where I was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've lived everywhere though.
So how'd you wind up here?
So I got a divorce in 2000. Good Lord, 18. And I got two little ones, and they live in Lafayette. So I was like, I'm not living in Lafayette. I'm not living in McMinnville. So I'll go to Salem. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Not at all. No, it's not too bad. I mean, I feel like Salem would drive me a little more crazy, just because not anything to do with Salem, but more like I just kind of am a rolling stone, and so I'm lucky enough to be traveling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
And you stick mostly to Oregon, or you go up to Washington at all?
We go up to Washington. We can't expand too much quicker than we already are.
Yeah.
We just needing help. We talked earlier about where the comics are from that we hire.
Yeah.
But we hire a lot out of Seattle and Portland.
Uh-huh.
But it takes quite a bit to find a host to run a show, to make sure that we service that venue right. You know what I mean? So somebody's there to take tickets. They're in communication with the manager or the bar staff to make sure the show's going good.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah,
you don't think
it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the people we have working for us that do that are angels, and they're awesome. And I hope everybody hires them all the time. If you have a host at Solo Wit, you may have seen them multiple times, but they are miracle workers, and I appreciate the heck out of them.
So how does a comedian, if somebody says, I want to get into comedy, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say...
what's wrong with you?
I would say betterhelp.com.
Start with a therapist and work your way up.
Yeah. No, I would say the first thing you do is go to an open mic.
Okay.
Is that how most people kind of get into it, is through an open mic, or are they just like?
Well, if they don't get into it that way, it's probably a disservice to them. Which actually, that's how I started. The guy said, "Hey, come be on a show." This is a great show. He gave me 5 minutes on this great show. It was like, and like I did well, and I was like, I can't wait for my Netflix special.
Yeah.
And then I did nothing but eat shit for
Yeah.
like a while. But no, you want to go to an open mic. Hopefully you have somebody that's there as like a big brother or big sister. A sponsor. I mean, it would help if you're an AA sponsor. It'll probably help. But like, hopefully you got somebody there that's supportive.
Yeah.
I try to be supportive. I'm going to be like, listen, like, if you want to do stand-up comedy, if you eat gravel and you suck, it doesn't matter. And if you crush it and everybody laughs, it doesn't matter. Because if you want to keep doing this, you're going to experience both. You're gonna, the slings and arrows and the sunshine, the roses and the thorns. You're gonna experience it all, and that's just an innate part of the process. And there's no cheat codes. You're gonna fail, and if you do it long enough, you're still doing it. It means that you're probably finding some success, or you're delusional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you need a good corner man to be able to like.
Exactly, corner man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you're
great.
like a fighter, right?
Elizabeth Bear, I'm your corner man. Yeah. There's a couple other people too that I don't know. I'm grateful for that. This is starting. The financial returns are happening.
That's always good.
But I think that I want to be remembered as somebody that helps people get into comedy.
Yeah.
Because people care a lot about it. So like if I can be that kind of person that it helps you or encourages you when you've had you're a little busted up and you had a bad set or something like that. If I can be that person that's be like, look, dude, this is part of the process. We got this. Let's go. It's just the second quarter. There's a 4-quarter game. Let's go. If I can do that, I feel like that is a really rewarding life.
Is there a breakout point for someone when they get into comedy? Like they're going from show to show to show, and they're like, is their mentality like this next one could be the one that really gets me noticed or gets me to the next level, or is it just they're just grinding through it?
I wouldn't know how to answer that.
Yeah,
I really wouldn't, just because I'm 5 years in and I'm starting to get the opportunity to headline all over the place.
Yeah,
I'm 5.5 years in, which is crazy. I'm very grateful. I don't deserve it. I've worked hard, but I don't deserve it. I'm humbled by this, and if you're ever not humbled, it will humble you. So like, I'm really grateful, but like, I don't like. There's no. There's spectrum of success is so weird. So I haven't done shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I've got to work in, I think dozens of clubs all over the country. Yeah. I've got to close, and I've got to open for some really great people. And there are comics that I think are way funnier than I am, and they don't have that opportunity. So it's just so weird.
It's almost like social media. Like you put out this amazing video, and like, oh, I'm gonna get so many likes on it, like tanks, and someone puts out something just really stupid, and they're now
catches on like
for
wildfire.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the worst things you can do as a comic is scroll through Instagram or Facebook, because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Brian's doing that show. What? I want to do that show.
Yeah.
I hate. You know what I mean? And it's poison. It sucks.
And then the algorithm's like, oh, you like Brian, so now I'm going to show you nothing but Brian.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, too, is you said, like, oh, the next show, like, that'll be the one, that'll be the pop. Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm not bringing these two people up in any negative sense, because they're very, very talented, and I'm very proud to work with them. But if you out there want to see two comics that are really cool, like Brent Lowry or Monty Dene, they both are doing the social media end of it, right? So, first of all, baseline, they're very funny, and they care, and they're hardworking, and they put stuff out there, and it's crushing. Like it's something will have 80,000 views, and I'm like, holy crap! Like that's awesome, Like they're doing that end of it. And I wouldn't have the first. I put stuff online, and it gets like 10 likes.
And comedy hits different, and when you're seeing it live compared to like I see like a comedy special on like Netflix, like and I would kind of laugh at it.
Yeah.
But if I was there inside the audience, I'd be rolling probably.
Yeah.
Just because you kind of feed off the audience, and then you hear some lady with like some weird laugh going on, and that kind of amps up the crowd a little bit. So it's not like a laugh track, you know. And it's another thing. We were showing our kids some of the old sitcoms back in the day. Like, these are so funny.
What do they think?
They're like, oh, okay, this is funny. And they're like, yeah, you're right. This isn't as funny as I thought when I was a little kid. And now all I can focus on is the laugh track and how candid it is. And it's like, I actually saw a show when they turned off the laugh track. The show is terrible.
Sure.
It's amazing what that laugh track and what, you know, having that audience, because they're trying to recreate an audience to get you like, this is funny. Now you should laugh.
Well, especially too, like if any of those like network shows, there's a certain amount of them that were like, it's formulaic. It's like, okay, we know that this will sell to this demographic and it's math. You know what I mean? It gets to be math. No, man, I think there's, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
As far as when you share something with an audience, it's a real dance. Like, it's a real partner dance.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like that is a unique thing that, especially in a world of screens, like that's a premium. Yeah. That's a premium experience.
It's hard, even when you go to dinner with someone. I mean, you gotta pick up your phone, but when someone's up on stage, hopefully, and they're funny, and people are concentrating on them. They're not looking at their phones. They paid the money to watch the performance.
Sure, yeah. And I've looked at my phone as a patron of comedy 1,000 times.
Yeah,
it's natural. Like,
I
get it. We got to check on our kids, check our Bitcoin, whatever.
Or Ring cameras.
Ring cameras. Yeah. But like, you know, that's natural. But I just think that, like, man, sometimes when you really experience something in a room of people, like, and it feels like a superpower. It's the coolest thing ever. Like,
just like charges you.
You can make a room full of people laugh.
If I can get my teenage daughter to put down her phone and pay attention to what I'm saying, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I'll never forget when because I used to be an actor, and I used to, you know, make a living a lot, like as what they call an ingenue, like kind of the young lover guy. So I started out, but I would make them funny because I'd make them real. And I'm not like patting myself on the back. I think we've talked about my failures pretty openly, but like I remember I really kind of found my way making people laugh with that. And I'll never forget when I decided I want to do that. I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I was playing football, and I still got the scar, but to make a long story short, my helmet popped off playing football, and I got a pretty gnarly, got a fracture in my jaw, I got a pretty gnarly cut. And I remember my mom was really nervous, and I could see that. I could see that she was nervous, and of course, my mom means the world to me.
Yeah.
And I started cracking jokes to the nurse, the male nurse. And I started kind of flirting. Like, I'm a straight man, but like I was like, for my mom's benefit, I started to I'd graze.
You're like, you come here often.
I'd graze his scrubs as he walked by, and like my mom would laugh, and I was like, oh shit, I'm making her forget about this.
Yeah.
This is a superpower. I can make you laugh. And then I was like, oh my God, for better or worse, I want to do this forever, you know? Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question. I talk so much.
No, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go out and we'll splice all the answers together for you. We'll make it sound so
my diatribe. Yeah. You're like, I'm sick of this, dude.
No, that's good. I mean, just the getting up on stage and then being able to, I think that's the big thing for me is the stand-up comedy hits so much better when you're in the audience, and that's I think what makes it special.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other things, I can listen to like a song and a CD and stuff like that. I can go down the road, and zone out. But with comedy, it's like you have to see it in person to get the full effect of it.
100%. I mean, how like live music, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so much better experience live.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's subjective, but I think live music's better than canned music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think people are kind of feed off especially nowadays, they want the human connection with a lot of things, and we're getting. I think people are kind of getting back to that, especially with Instagram and Facebook, the super canned. Like we were talking about this earlier, like the stuff that was working a while ago isn't working now. People want to see you sitting in your car just talking, and they'll tune in longer for that than some like scripted thing that stage thing, because it's not real. They know it's not real, but what they're seeing is real.
Yeah.
And then same thing with comedy. It's real. It's up on stage. You're some of it's ad lib, some of it's someone's going to fall flat, some of it's going to work.
Yep.
And it all depends on the crowd, and everybody's kind of there together. And I think with comedy, it's especially when you feel a connection to the comic. You're like, wow, this is cool. We're all here together, and it feels like we know the comic that's up there, and it makes it more special like that.
I mean, for my money, 100,000%, like for my money, absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You know,
what's that movie that just came out where the guy he's got a stalker, the comedian that's got the stalker? What's that?
Baby Reindeer.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's a movie.
Oh my god!
It just came out on Netflix, I think. No. I just saw previews for it. It's super creepy looking.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
What is the show?
So
I don't even know. I got the TikTok version. We see so many clips on TikTok. Like, I don't even need to see the movie now because I've got the whole movie based on these clips from TikTok.
Yeah.
So
So you haven't watched it?
Yeah, he's a bartender, like part-time bartender, and he does comedy, and he has this lady that starts latching onto him. That's all I know about it.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh. Fill us in. Fill us in.
Well, I don't want to spill spoilers.
No, it's fine.
It's about a stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin, you ever had a stalker?
Austin, have you ever had
handsome guy like you? No? I forgot you're here.
He's a professional stalker. He stalks us. Right?
He stalks us to make sure we do what we're supposed to.
What if I called you Jamie? Be like, Jamie, bring that up.
We have to. We got to pay him a Jamie wage for.
Not a goddamn word, Austin. No, it's so first of all, it's really well written, really well directed, really well acted.
Is it based off a real story?
Yes.
Oh
yeah. I just found that. I just found out today.
Yeah. She hates movies that could happen in real life.
Like bad things could happen to you. If it's like a feel good, like something was great, watch it all day long.
Dude, first of all, it was uncomfortable for me because
unless it's true crime, I want to see all of that.
Okay, well, it is kind of true crime. Ooh. But like I've had that situation happen, not to the extent that this has happened.
Stalked?
Oh yeah. Where this person.
Why has nobody ever stalked me?
Ruby red lips, baby blonde hair. Name was Russell. No, just kidding. it was a lady. No, and that's also a Bloodhound Gang lyric. But no, I've had situations where I was like, hey, too much.
Was it just kind of what we were just talking about? Like they connected with you too much? Like, he's up on stage. He's talking directly to me.
I think they were connected to psychopathy. Yeah. Like they were.
Was it a girl or a guy?
It was a girl.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Actually, both.
Oh, stop.
Not at the same time. It was not like a leave your keys in the bowl situation. No, but yeah, man. I've had both situations. Not to the extent of this movie.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude, when you're like, hey, this isn't happening anymore. Like, thank you, but no.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, you're wrong.
We're going home.
We're going to call you.
Parts are you're going to come home with me.
Yeah, like situations where, they get your number or, God forbid, they find out where you live. And when someone that just is, comfortable crossing boundaries like that. Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
And you don't know which bar they're going to be at when you show up. Because they know where you're at.
They sure do your research to find out where you're going to be.
Wow.
And especially in lives where I've lived where it's very out there. It's like, oh, I'm doing this play. So this is where this play is for the next 6 weeks. Oh, I've got this comedy show, and this is exactly where my face is on the poster or whatever. This is where I'll be, and you just have people hanging out, and you're like, get down the stage, and they'll be like, good set, and you're like, I'm like,
You're here again.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a Ring camera.
Yeah. Well, not back in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming. So you have a show tonight?
I do.
What are you doing?
I'm going to be, so it's a weekly show at the Garage in Albany. It's a great venue.
The Garage. Is it downtown Albany?
Yep.
I like downtown Albany.
It's cool.
It's a cool downtown.
That's a good example of, I don't know what it was like a couple years ago, but it's a really clean, cool little downtown. It's got a vibe.
It's got the I could walk around the block and not get mugged vibe.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
what you want? You're downtown.
Yeah, buy your stalker.
Yeah.
We'll get you. Yeah. Or find a new stalker. Who knows?
Oh, that's awesome. So how can we plug you?
First of all, go to, I don't care about me, but Soul of Wit is the Soul of Wit is the company that I run. And it's grassroots. It's mom and pop. And I mean, I think we're doing a really good job. And I think we're always learning how we can do a better job.
You guys are on Instagram. I know that.
Yeah. So our website is SOW, but SOWfunny.com.
Okay.
Yeah, Soul of Wit Productions. And you can find us, are most of your listeners in Salem or where?
We're trying to. I mean, in Oregon.
Okay.
I mean, because no one else really cares about what we're talking about here. So
I do.
We try to.
I'm a big fan.
We try to like get the Oregon people at least involved. With
Yeah. You can find us in Salem. You can find us in Albany. You can find us in Corvallis. You can find us in Roseburg, Gold Beach, Bandon, North Bend.
So there's got to be something going on
Medford,
almost every night.
Ashland. Yeah, pretty much every Thursday through Saturday with a lot of Sundays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays mixed in.
And trivia.
And trivia Monday through, come play trivia. I'll cheat for you. I'll cheat for you. I don't care. Tip me. I'll cheat for you.
Tip me.
Yeah.
We're good at trivia at certain topics, though. But,
Dude, I am not. Like I do this thing where
so I am not, he is, and I just tag along with it. So like we are.
Yeah, you're the designated drinker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. No, I'll be like, if you don't know the answer, make me laugh, and I'll give you a half point. You can make fun of me. You can make fun of my mom. Draw me a picture. Write me song lyrics or be absurdly wrong. That's like a unique thing we do at Soul of Wit. That like if you make us laugh, we'll give you a half point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. If your drunk, dumb friend is like, I have a place in the world now. Yeah.
I'm glad there's so much to do here that we didn't know about. And I hope you guys keep it up. I hope we get more stuff in Salem.
Sure.
So you don't have to like travel so far.
No, I mean, again, there's a million shows a week that are within the Willamette Valley.
Yeah.
That's
there
awesome.
really is.
So you're the comedy thing, when does that, you said you're doing a show at the Grand?
The Grand Theater.
Yes.
March 10th. Sam
May 10th?
Miller.
May 10th.
May.
March 10th.
Yeah, March 10th, 2027.
I
Next
am
year.
late for my show.
May, yeah. May, I'm sorry.
We're
I need
going
a
back
nap.
in time.
I need a nap. May 10th. Sam Miller is headlining with Monica Nevi. And if you know regional comedy, you know how funny those two people are. If I can get you guys tickets, or if you guys want to give away tickets too for listeners.
It'd be amazing.
We always love free stuff.
Of course.
And we love giving away stuff too.
Actually, I'm helping a comic out tomorrow because they've helped me out. We have this won't air tomorrow.
No.
It'll be next Thursday, so we should be just in time.
There's a house show tomorrow if you guys are bored.
Okay.
There's a house show. You probably got kids, you can remember. But there's a house show tomorrow.
We have a few.
Yeah. Make the 25-year-old take care of them. Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, we'll plug you for that, and yeah, the Grand Theater is pretty cool because it's big, but it's intimate.
Yeah.
So it feels you're right up against the stage, so it's gonna be a good show.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, no, I can guarantee you that's going to be a good show. Sam Miller and Monica Nevi are two of the finest comics I know, and they are as close to a sure thing as we can get.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. May 10th.
Yeah.
Green? May 10th, Grand Theater. Get your tickets, or I'll stalk you.
Or I'll stock it. He knows how to do it now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Soul of
Yeah.
Wit, thanks for coming on the
Thank
show.
you, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
We
You guys are
can't wait
wonderful.
to see some more of this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.